All right, shalom, shalom. Give me 1 second. Got to take this here. All right, shalom, shalom, Israel. It's the brother Mawasar. Lord willing, the brother Shemawal can join a little later. But as of right now, we rocking out together, one on one. So, as you see in the title, be new or you through. I mean, the truth is not something. The truth is not a regular thing. It's not a I quit McDonald's. I'm just going over to Wendy's. That ain't really nothing. You gotta understand that the truth is the truth. It's nothing that can be compared to it. There's nothing that you will ever be into in your life. There's nothing that you could ever submit yourself to that's even close to touching the hair of the truth. And we gotta remember that this is not just a job. Like I said, this ain't going from McDonald's to Wendy's. This is not you know, I just graduated high school. Let me look for a college. I mean, this is real life. This is the kingdom of heaven we talking about. This is a serious thing. It don't matter if it's just you by yourself. It don't matter if it's 100 people with you. At the end of the day, you got to work out your own salvation, including me. I can sit here on these videos and say X, Y, and Z, but if behind closed doors I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, it's all for naught. It don't mean nothing, right? We got to really understand how serious this is. Not a game, man. I think a lot of people don't understand that. I'm gonna get this in Sirach chapter 37 and verse 19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. And God forbid that's ever me or any other brother that teach the Bible. Whether you're on the internet, whether you in your living room with your kids teaching the Bible, whether you at camp out there on the street, however you teaching, God forbid that you be this Sirach 37 and 19 man, woman or child who's teaching but you unprofitable to yourself. And one of the main ways, I won't say the main way, but one of the main ways you can be unprofitable to yourself is by not being new. You still that same old. You still that same one. Ain't nothing really changed. You got the same habits from 5 years ago. I'm gonna get this in Sirach chapter 34 and verse 25. He that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body, if he touch it again, what availeth his washing? So is it with a man that fasteth for his sins and goeth again and doeth the same. Who will hear his prayer, or what does his hunger profit him? If you see somebody put their hand on a hot stove and they burn themselves, they kind of shake their hand, they got that brown mark on their hand. Then 5 minutes later, they go do it again. How bad are you gonna feel for that person? They doing the same thing they've been doing. Don't get me wrong. We in this flesh. We dust and ashes. You gonna make mistakes. None of us was born. Last time I checked, Yahweh Shai is on the right hand of the Father. None of us is absolutely blameless with no blemishes. I'm gonna read this in Sirach chapter 17, verse 16. Every man from his youth is given to evil, neither could they make to themselves fleshy hearts for stony. Every man, I don't know one person on this planet who is a human being that don't have some type of evil that they just naturally inclined to. It might be smoking for you. It might be the freaky sights for this person. It might be lust in terms of money, fame, popularity, preeminence for this person. But everybody has that one thing that they deal with. Everybody. Nobody's exempt. You got to understand that temptation is something that just comes with this. You're going to get tempted. I was telling somebody that literally this morning. I don't care who you are. If Christ was tempted, you ain't exempt to getting tempted. Not even me. I get tempted all the time. How can you know if somebody's a real friend to you if it's always good times and don't nothing ever go wrong? You know, how you know you can trust somebody if they never put in a situation to show, man, even though this X, Y, and Z went bad, yeah, I can trust this brother. I can trust this sister. I can trust my man. I can trust my woman. Or whatever your situation is, because in this situation, when it went bad, hey, they had my back. You have to be tested. And that comes with faith. Part of being new is having faith. Because one thing in the world you didn't have was faith. You had a problem with somebody, you trusted in your gun. That's what was gonna save you. Facebook Live, you ran to that when you was feeling like, you know, and a lot of times our women deal with this problem. You wasn't feeling like you was getting enough attention, or you wasn't feeling like, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, you ran to social media. Oh, I didn't get 100 likes on my picture. I'm not beautiful. Oh, I DM 10 women a day. None of them respond. I'm not a real man. That's how a lot of us is taught to think. But we got to be new. We got to be on something whole entirely different, man. You got to be different. Let's see what the Lord had to say. Let's get Matthew. And like I said, hey, Lord willing, the brothers from my wall can get in here. But if not, you know, hey, it's all of the Lord. That brother's still going hard in the truth. He's still doing his thing. Brother's still pushing hard. Shout out to brother. This is Matthew chapter 9 and verse number 14. I'm going to start at verse 16. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment. For that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. If I had a hole in my shirt right now, and I tried to stitch a piece of cloth to it, the thing is that I've worn this shirt too many times to put a new piece of cloth on it. That new piece of cloth, the fabric's tight. If I put a new piece of cloth and I had a hole in this shirt, that tight fabric from that new piece of cloth is going to rip the hole in my shirt and make it even worse. This is the example that the Lord is using. I'm going to read that again. Matthew chapter 9, verse 16. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment. For that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. And rent is an old English word of saying rip. You cannot put old habits and you cannot have old habits and think you can make new progress. That don't even make sense. They even say in the world, I think it was like an Einstein quote, something like that. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. That don't make no sense. I'm gonna use an analogy. Let's say I'm cooking. I got a pizza in the oven. Every time I leave this pizza in the oven for 30 minutes, it come out pitch black. It's burnt. What makes me think that if it happened the first 3 times, that this 4th time that me putting that pizza in there for 30 minutes is not gonna be burnt? That don't make no sense at all. But yet and still, that's how we move a lot of times. With our study habits, you know, we get tempted by the same thing. We fall to the same thing every time. You learned about the truth. It's 2025 now. You learned about the truth in 2015. And for 10 years straight, you've been getting tempted and getting beat up, jumped, and defeated by the same demon the whole time. That's why the title is Be New or You Through. You have to change. And I know it's hard. I had to do it. I'm still doing it. Don't ever think that just because me, whoever your favorite teacher is on YouTube, I don't care who they are, how mighty you think they are. Don't think that they perfect and that they don't have more things to improve on. Last time I checked, like I said earlier in the live, none of us is Christ himself. None of us is the Lord. We all got things that we need to improve on. Here go the mighty brother right here. Shalom, man.
Shalom.
But hey, like I was just saying, I don't care who your favorite teacher is, man. They all got something they can improve on. All of them, including me, including this brother. God forbid I ever get on here like, yeah, Mr. Israel, him in the flesh. Like, I don't be having the things, I got to pray to the Most High, like, man, Lord, I'm trying to improve on this. Man, I failed at that. I've been dealing with this for X amount of time. That's how I go. I don't ever want the audience to feel like, oh man, these brothers I be watching on YouTube, whether it's us, whether it's another camp, don't matter. I don't want to ever hear nobody in the comments, on the Instagram, none of that saying, man, them brothers who be teaching, they mightier than me. It don't work like that. Does not work like that. We all striving to be new through the Spirit. That's how that goes. I'm gonna read this again, and then if you got a precept, you can jump in there. It's Matthew chapter 9 and verse number 16. It says, "No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse." Like I said earlier, you cannot take old habits and make new progress. That is not how this works. If it didn't work before, what make you think it's gonna work now? Just ask yourself that. Just ask yourself that. If it hasn't worked before, what makes you think it's going to work now? You done tried it 25 times. You 0 for 25. Hey, a lot of y'all play sports, man. Hey, imagine your favorite player then shot 25 threes and they missed all 25 of them. I know I'm using a basketball analogy, but hey, our people really need that visual in their mind. If your favorite players, if Steph Curry shot 25 threes and he missed all 25 of them, why would he keep shooting? That don't make sense. You gotta try something new. If you trying to get 2, but every time you think that you adding 1 + 1, you getting 3, you're not adding 1 + 1 like you think you are. You're not. Because 1 + 1 = 2, bro. If you're not getting 2 when you press 1 + 1, you doing something wrong. That's just straight up and down. Let me know when you good. You can go ahead and hop in there. But hey, man, like the title say, you gotta be new or you are through. There is none of us are an exception to that rule, man. Not even me. I done caught a lot of my bad, man. Every time this happened, I end up thinking like this. I end up moving like that. And I get jammed up when I do it. Why do I keep falling into that same old habit? And sometimes you got to kind of get on yourself. Sometimes you have to get on yourself, man. So I'm going to get this precept in Romans. And then, you good?
Gone.
I'm going to get this precept in Romans 12. And then you can go ahead and hop in there. This is Romans chapter 12. I'm going to just get straight to it. Romans 12 and verse 2. "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." I didn't write the book of Romans, man. Even Paul is telling you, hey, your mind got to change. You can't think the same. If you used to bang in the world, used to strip in the world, used to steal, used to take lives, neglect your children, you was lazy, whatever it was you was doing in the world, you can't bring it in the truth. It's not gonna work. I can promise you that. I'm gonna read this again, and then you got it. Romans 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You got it.
Yeah, shalom, shalom. It's like it for the tardiness, you know, just weird stuff, small things. And that's the thing with us. We gotta, fix the small things with us, small, large, whatever, and really focus on the new creature and the new man, the inward man. And that precept he brought out, that Romans 12 and 1, and on down, you can't be conformed to this world. I'm gonna read that again. And then I got a precept too, right? That Romans 12 and 2, it's saying, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because you don't want to be conformed to this world. When you conform to this world, you're living in the standards of this world. The morals and the goals of this world is literally to prosper carnally. It's to prosper in the flesh and things that's highly esteemed, and whatever you see somebody else has, you got to have it. That's being conformed to this world. The Lord said, be not conformed, but be ye transformed in the renewing of your mind. Because once your mind get renewed, you realize that, oh, I need to be focused on the inward man. Oh, I got to change my habits. I need good habits. I need habits that's actually going to benefit my spirit. I need to fast. And fasting help with you carnally as well, because you focusing on your spirit, the Lord's going to take care of you, the things that, around, your household. He's going to take care of your physical health. When you take care of your spirit, the Lord is going to take care of everything's around you. And it's going to be gracefully as well. Even to the analogy, what he brought out, just basketball. Yeah, we all going to fall short, but that doesn't mean that you continue in a sin or bad habit that you was conformed to. Oh, damn, man, I kept falling short, and oh, well. Because Kobe, he shot, what, 60 shots? You just had I seen a recent highlight of Cade Cunningham. He was damn 45 for like 15. Hey, but they won the game though. He kept shooting. That's the thing right there. The Lord wants you to keep shooting until you able to get it right. You know, that's why that grace is in play, so you can have a chance to get the kingdom. Because this flesh profited none, but the spirit is what quickeneth, right? So let's go to I'm gonna go to Romans. We're gonna be in Romans chapter 6, right? And we're gonna go to verse 3. So we can start at 1, right? Let's start at 1, man. Right, Romans chapter 6, verse 1. It says, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Right? And you got people, they think that grace is what saves them. They think faith alone is going to save them. But what about your works? What are you working towards that your faith shows? What is your faith showing in your works? It goes hand in hand. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin? Because people think just because they have grace, they can continue to eat pork. They can continue to think that, yeah, I'm a bad man, I'm a bad woman, but hey, it is what it is. I'm this me. When it's really not, because that's not how God made you. He made man to be immortal. He made man to be righteous, right? Having good and evil was a balance in the world, but that doesn't mean that you got to have both. No, the Lord gave us the knowledge of wisdom to have awareness in evil so we don't partake in it. Not to say, yeah, yin and a yang. That's off. Right? So it says, what shall we sin? Salakia, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Right? Why? Let's see why. Know ye not that so many of us were baptized in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, were baptized into his death? See, you were baptized into his death. So you been um dead to sin, you've been buried as how Mashiach been buried. You will be risen how he was in the resurrection through the Spirit right now, and it will be carnally, not carnal. I want to say carnally, but in due time we will get lifted up when Yahweh Shah comes back. You will see us get lifted up from the chariots, most high willing. But spiritually, as we partake into this word and our minds get renewed, our conscious, we're getting resurrected through the spirits. Paul gonna break it down. Verse 4, it says, therefore we are buried with him by baptism into his death, that like as Hamashiach was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also shall walk in newness of life. So you coming in this truth, you just been raised up from the dead, right? You've been buried, with Hamashiach, through baptism of his death, and you've been raised up by the dead by the glory of the Father, so you can walk in newness. So you being in this truth, you're supposed to walk in newness. The Lord gave you a fresh start, which he didn't have to, you know. So for you to stay focused on, okay, I got to get this going, I got to get this going. Most people don't really pay attention. You know, there's no pinpoint anybody or nothing like that. But people come in this truth and they automatically think that, yeah, we I want to know all the precepts and the breakdowns and second Esdras and Jeremiah and the prophecies. But you got to understand all the things that you learned in the world to how to be a man or woman was false. You got to let all those stuff go and build yourself up. Be renewed in the spirit, because your flesh and all that knowledge you have from the world is conformed to the world. The Lord told you be not conformed and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, because the Lord renewed your conscience. He renewed your mind. So reading on, it says, right? I'm gonna read that again. It says, therefore we are buried with him by baptism into his death, because that old man is dead. All the things, all the bad habits that every single thing that you did, we ain't even got a name, give examples. You know, the things that you did. If you watching this video, us speaking this, making this video, we know the things that we done unconsciously, oftentimes. It's the law. It tells you that, hey, if he done something out of ignorance and he remembers it, roughly paraphrasing, you got to repent, you know? So all the things that you have done unconsciously, you remember, or intentionally, whatever that may be, hey, that's dead, man, right? That is dead. It says, therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Hamashiach was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, it was so we also shall walk in newness of life. And walking in newness of life is keeping the commandments, and meditating the commandments and applying it to your life. What to remove, right? And what righteousness you have to put in your life, if you got ears to hear. Verse 5, it says, for if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. See that? So we've been planted together in the likeness of his death. And if that's so, we'll be resurrected too. That's us coming in newness of life. And it happens all the time. This is why we have to continuously purge and replace, right? And conquer the old man. Bound up them old habits, bound up that just the slothfulness, or the drinking demon, the lust demon, sexual lust, because lust ain't always sexual. Brothers probably got a shoe fetish. And he buy shoes every week. You know, he just waiting in line for Jordans. But you're gonna have to let that old man go, because all that money that you spending could be to the poor, brother. You making a lot of money than a lot of brothers, and you ain't feeding the poor. You're not supposed to shut your hand from the poor. That's a commandment. So you gotta, you gotta let that go, and you will also be in the likeness of his resurrection when you been planted. You know, I'm gonna read on. It says, verse 6, it says, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him. So every single day, yeah, you may fall short, you may slip up. But what that mean? That means that you will have to nail that old man again. Hey, that old man, he's not gonna quit. This flesh is not gonna quit, man. Satan like that we in these bodies, you know. But through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, giving us the knowledge and the wisdom, renewing our mind, giving us the eyes to see and the ears to hear, hey, we be able to put that old man right back on the cross, right? It says that knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed. So it's a battle, right? We came on this earth to fight. The Lord created us to fight. He created us from the dust. He wanted us to be at the bottom just so we can fight and get something more glorious than we could ever imagine, which is the kingdom. It's paradise, right? So knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. So just because you maybe keep falling short, you jacking up threes, you got good shots, and you keep missing doesn't mean you stop shooting the ball. Just because you went to the Super Bowl and you got sacked or you got tackled and fumbled doesn't mean that you be like, you know what, I got to choose a different position. No, brother. That means that you're going to have to look at film, watch film. This is what we have to do through the Spirit. Watch film, see your mistakes, and that's hard. That's looking in the mirror. You being a true, a new man, new woman, a new teenager, however old you is, whoever watching, for you to look in the mirror, they take a lot of guts because a lot of people can't look in the mirror and actually see that they full of BS. You full of BS, you slothful, you're weak, you emotional, especially to the man. Men are very emotional these last days. I'm not trying to be harsh or nothing like that because I can speak that for myself. Men are just off. When you come in this truth, you realize that you're a sick man. You look at the scriptures, look at the sin of our forefathers, them same spirits is on earth. We're the reasons why Esau is ruling right now, right? You should not serve sin. So just because you fall, you should not serve sin, man. Right? You shouldn't be, oh man, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna keep drinking. It's good anyway. Sure, hey, you know, hey, this me, and laugh like that's off. Want somebody to agree with you, right? So we should not serve sin. You know. So I'm read verse 7. It's for he that is dead is free from sin, man. Right? All praise to the Most High. I'm gonna get one precept and you got out. So hey, we gotta be that new man, right? That new man. All right, let me see what I wanted. I believe that's probably Matthew 22. Could be wrong. All right. If I can find this precept. I'm looking at it like a couple days ago. If not, I got another precept in mind. See that? Let me get a look. Let's see. All right. So I'm gonna go to Colossians chapter 3. And you got out. All right, Colossians chapter 3. We can go to verse. Right. I love Colossians. It's chapter 3. Right. We can go to verse. We just start at verse 5. Matter of fact, we start at verse 3. Right. It says, "For ye are dead, and your life is hid with a Mashiach, right, in the Most High." So, hey, you see, the Most High keeps saying you dead in the Mashiach, right? Just so you can be resurrected into that new man, have that glorious body. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in the Most High. When Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then ye shall also appear with him in glory. Mortify therefore your members, meaning restrain. That mortify means restrain, right? It says, which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things' sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience. You don't want to be a disobedient man, because these things that's named, they're upon the earth. These things that's named, that's in your flesh. These things that's named, you have done it. And you have to continuously to withdraw from that. Continuously kill the old man, right? It says, verse 7, in which ye also walk sometime when ye lived in them. You don't live them anymore, right? So just because you fall short doesn't mean that you actually, that's who you are. You know, it's going to take time to grow. It's going to take time to heal. Things take time. It's a time and purpose for everything. Ecclesiastes 3:1. So you got to have patience with yourself, right? It says, in the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. So just because you've done it doesn't mean it's all the time. In time past, you was doing it all of you every day. When you came in the truth, you wasn't doing that. You know, there's gonna be times you slip, but you can't have that slip turn into you drowning. But you gotta.
Nah, I want to get this. And man, I'm holding about 4 precepts right now. But we're gonna get this in Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 12. And I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. It said the sin that is so easily beset us. I want you to think about that demon that you deal with, that temptation that you deal with. Let's say your temptation is let's say, I don't know, gossiping. How hard is it for somebody who is used to gossiping to gossip? How much effort does it take? How tired are you? Oh man, that was a long session of gossiping. I need to take a nap. Nah. As a matter of fact, you probably get energized, bro. You know? And you gotta understand that just because it feels good don't mean it is good. Last time I checked, you'll never get tempted to do something that don't feel good. Like the brother Nakwan brought it out on the video not too long ago. He said, Satan is not going to tempt you to go on a fast. It's not going to happen. How many times you been tempted? Hey, Satan in your ear, I dare you to go on a fast. You know, I dare you to read 3 chapters today. No, he gonna be on your ear, man. Come on, bro. You mighty on the precepts. Look at all them Wednesday videos you did with Shemawal. You be bringing it out off the dome. You ain't got to read this week. You good. You might be, yeah, I ain't going to lie. You right, man. I did bring it out that one video. We was talking about Saul. Yeah, I brought it out. That's how temptation going to work. You got to understand. Y'all seen the movie Temptation, the Tyler, I think it's a movie, the Tyler Perry joint. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Man, we all grew up watching Tyler Perry. I wish anybody would act like they just so holy and righteous that they ain't never seen that dude movies and his plays. It's always, and I was talking to somebody about this. It's a little folly, but just follow me. How in Tyler Perry movies, it's the same old. We talking about being new, right? It's the same old, same old. You got this dark-skinned woman who get her man took by the light-skinned woman. That's how he set up all his movies. Even one of the movies, I think it was the funeral, the family funeral movie. You had the dude The light-skinned dude, his brother, which was a brown-skinned brother, was dealing with his wife behind closed doors. You think that felt bad to him? You think he wasn't getting a rush? Like, oh man, I can't wait to see her. Temptation is gonna feel fantastic, man. How do you feel? You've been craving this candy, this cake, whatever it is that you know you ain't supposed to be eating, and you finally just get that first taste. It's gonna feel great. And then when you done, you're gonna think to yourself, like, dang, I fell to it again. I was on my diet for 29 days. I said I was going 30 days. I broke my diet today. Right? I'm gonna go back into this verse in Hebrews 12. In verse number 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. He's literally saying what we used to be, what used to hold us back, that weight, we got to lay that aside. When I used to get home from work, I'm always tired. I be sweating at my job. I'm just using an example. I just be sweating at my job. My feet be aching. That's when the lust demon hit me. Hey, you know, Chocolate Diamonds just posted a new Instagram picture. Go check that out. You know, for the ladies, you know, Sexy Red just dropped a new banger. Go play that on the speakers. That'll make you feel better. Go out with your homegirls. Forget what your husband talking about. But you got to be new. You got to lay aside that weight. Let's read verse 2. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. You got to understand that our own Lord had to endure. Like the Lord is not unrighteous to where Christ came down here and he was just having a ball. Where is that account where Christ was just partying? He was doing the stanky leg in the club. Where is that happening? You know, the Lord was popping. You know how they do at the finals. They win. They popping champagne in the locker room. Oh, we going to Vegas tonight. Everybody getting on. Where is the or did the Lord say, hey, the foxes have holes, but the Lord have not to lay his nowhere to lay his head? He ain't had no place to stay. Last time I checked, hey, I ain't never been crucified on no cross before, man. I ain't never had my beard pulled out of my face. You know, I was never given vinegar to drink when I was thirsty. But he had to endure that. Let's keep reading. It says, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Paul said, you better remember. The Bible is saying you better remember what the Lord went through, or you're gonna get feared, you're gonna get weary, and your hands gonna start getting faint. I don't know if I can do this. This truth thing no more. You know, these fringes don't really hit with this fit that I'm trying to put on. God forbid it's a brother out there like, nah, I can't put the fringes on. It don't hit with these new J's that I just bought. I just bought these new Ferrari 14s. That ribbon of blue don't hit with that red in them Ferrari 14s. I might have to just leave the fringes alone for the day. The Lord know my heart. Y'all know how Christians talk. The Lord know my heart. We can't be moving like that, man. I'm going to drop down to the point. Verse number 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Ain't no good father gonna let you do whatever the HE double hockey sticks you want to do and not say nothing or do nothing about it. Not gonna happen. We've been on these sports analogies. How you gonna have a star player and let him act like the third string? That don't even make sense. You just signed him to a max deal, but he get to slack off. He get to play around, not show up to practice like the third string point guard. Here it is, you playing varsity quarterback, you starting, but you got the habits of a Pee Wee League quarterback. What coach who believe in you is gonna let you do that? How much more so the Lord? It's not gonna happen. Here it is, you supposed to drop 30 a game, and you dropping 7 points, 3 rebounds a game. How long you think you gonna be starting? I can tell you right now, me and Shema Wall team, bench, sub, it's not happening. How much more so the Lord? The Lord not playing. It's a brother in the camp, and then you got to have this Shema Wall. It's a brother in the camp. He say it all the time. Like, when you got a position, you don't get demoted. There ain't no CEO of no company. Okay, you demoted to floor employee now. No, you're getting out of here. Find another company to work with. You know how scary that would be for the Lord to be like, you know what, Mawasar, you ain't created a Wednesday video in 12 months. You out of the truth. Ain't no, oh, you know, Lord, just let me edit the titles for the brother Shema Wall. He's still going hard. It don't work like you gone. You gone, bro. You out of there. The principal of the school don't get demoted to the damn janitor. You losing your job. Find a new school to be the principal of. It's tough love. It is what it is. You got to deal with it. You either gonna be new or you through. Straight up and down. You know, ain't no okay. I know y'all gonna get this one. Let's say Jordan start hooping like Kwame Brown. Are they gonna still? You see that? You see that reaction? If Jordan start hooping like Kwame Brown, are they gonna say, "Well, no, you remember he used to drop 40"? Are they gonna be like, "Man, what's going on with dude?" God forbid that be one of us. Like, you used to be mighty. Man, that brother Shema, he used to bring it out. I just seen him on the corner, man. He smoked out. That brother Mawasar, man, he used to bring it out mighty. Man, that brother a Muslim now. He taking his, what is that called that they take? What is that oath that the Muslims take? I can't think. The Shahad or something.
It's something, son. Hey, you close.
Whatever that folly is, whatever that garbage is. God forbid I'm ever on. Let's go with Christianity. God forbid I'm ever singing a damn praise and worship song. Oh, Jesus, Jesus. And I used to be on the videos bringing it out with the brother Small Wall. All because the Lord jammed me up because I wanted to be that old man. I wanted to smoke like I used to. Hey, it's brother Shema Wall, the brother know. All these Israelites, man. Why I left the Hebrew Israelites. Why I used to be in the truth. How wild is it for somebody to say, I used to be in the truth? Just think about that statement. I used to be in the truth. So you literally are acknowledging that what I'm in now is the fake. It's the false. We got to be new or you're going to be through. Hey, look at Saul, man. If you think that you exempt to falling, read about Saul and David. What you got to
Come on, man. Yeah, read about Saul and David, man. Read about our forefathers that fell. You know, David slipped. Saul slipped a lot, right? Really, man, right? Yeah, our forefathers slipped, man. Touching the ark when you ain't need to. Commit adultery, right? Damn. It's a lot. Hey, man. You gotta read, man. I'll praise to the Most High. All right, so I'm gonna bring out Matthew chapter 6. So, becoming a new creature, being a new man, it takes work. You know, if you really want to better yourself for your how about Shem Yahushua, how he created you, and you will put in that work. Especially if you love yourself. You loving yourself as you loving the Most High. Because you following how the Lord wants you to love yourself. Because you loving him is loving yourself. You keeping the commandment. I mean, look, we don't know how to take care of ourselves. You know. So what makes you think you actually know how to take care of yourself? I don't care how old you is. I don't care if you 50, 60, 70. You need the Most High to take care of yourself. These commandments is what's going to allow you to live. You're not keeping these commandments. You're not applying the precepts. You're not taking heed to the accounts and learning it, seeing if you doing these things or are you applying it or whatever. Hey, if you're not doing that, best believe your health is going to be bad, spiritually, physically, mentally, all that, right? So this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. It says, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. So whatever that may be, you may be on the game too long, you at the gym too long, you know, whatever that is that's hindering you, stopping you to be that new man or be consistent, you have to take that away. The Lord is literally telling the disciples to take that away. It says, remember it again, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So what could be your right eye? Like I say, you have to jump too long. It could be liquor. It could be you getting on sites that you don't need to be on. You know, it could be the weed, whatever that may be, or it may you need to learn how to organize. You know, or your hygiene, stuff like that. And the Lord teaches about hygiene. Hey, this book has the Lord has everything for the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native man to take care of themselves mentally, hygiene, spiritually, how to communicate, how to deal with each other, how to teach your kids, how to deal with kids, how to deal with your elderly folks, you know, how to handle money. Hey, you got a spending habit, right? Because that's what the old man spend money, man. The old man, right? He spent thousands. You know, out of the bank statements every month, your bank statements 3,000. The whole time you only make 2,000 a month, but your bank statement's 3,000. You spending money, man. You spending money that you don't even got. You got a extra 1,000 that you spending that you don't have, and you spending it. You got to take that away, right? That could be the right eye, right? Verse 30 it says, "And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell." Because you trying to grow in this truth and you're not you in this truth and you're not trying to grow, you're going to be cast into hell. You're going to be in the grave. Nuclear fire. Because you're not doing the things that the Lord told you to do and showing you. You praying, you know, to be a new man and be the image of the Lord. That takes work. The Lord ain't finna just up and give you that spirit. You know, that right hand could be you always in your feelings. You always offended. You get irritated fast. You need more patience. The new man has patience. That new creature has patience. He had the fruits of the spirit. He has discernment. He righteously judge folks. You know, even heathens as well. He has integrity. That's integrity. You keeping the same schedule and good habits on a day-to-day basis. Hey, like it's been said by our leaders, it's been said to even a different congregation. Don't let these NBA players, these Olympic players, be more consistent, have more integrity, patience more than you. And we in the truth. They have a diet that's consistent. They wake up in the morning. They're not slothful getting up in the morning. They happy to get up to do what they do because they're doing the things they love to do. If we love the Lord and we're willing to change ourselves and be that new man for Him, you know, then we should love to wake up in the morning and make sure we bettering ourselves, you know, waking up and read, waking up and study, look at the counsel of your forefathers, looking at the blemishes that you have in your garment, and you washing it up, man, by the word. You seeing what's wrong with you and you casting that away, right? So that could be that right hand or that right eye, and you have to pluck it out, right? You got a point? Oh, I thought you had a point, right? So let's get another precept, man. Let's go to well, what the hell mistake? All right, all right. Let's get First Corinthians chapter 9, because you got to fight, man. I mean, obviously, you know, it's not an easy battle. Facing yourself is the hardest battle that you can fight. Does it? It's not really outside of you. Yeah, we gonna deal with that. Spirit's hot, but you gotta deal with the spirits within you. You gotta deal with you dealing with you deal with yourself more than anybody else. You know, like you gotta wake up in the morning and literally fight yourself to the spirits that cleave onto your flesh, to the spirits that your old man used to love to do. Your old man is cool with these spirits, man. I mean, they kick it. They was kicking it hard in the world. I mean, they was kicking it, man. They know these demons know your favorite TV show. They know what time you like to go to the gym. They know what women you like. They know what you like to drink. They know what you like to eat. They know what clothes you like to wear. They know your favorite shoes. They know all these things. They know all these things of the old man. So you're going to have to continuously fight. They always bringing up old memories. Hey man, you remember you used to stay up late, go to we was at the club, we stand up late, then you get off and you feel like you could play the game, you play it a little bit. That's off, man. They bring up memories like that whole time. You get out of camp, you wanna read. You may want to just read a precept or two. You want to throw up extra prayers. If you got a family, you may want to read with your rib. You got to continuously to fight that. So this First Corinthians chapter 9 and verse, right, just right to the point, verse 26. This whole this chapter is fire, right? But it says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So we all know this in this chapter. If you don't know, it's speaking about we got to run that race. Let's jump up to verse 24, man. Why not? Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. Because this is a race. This is a marathon. So being that new man, being blameless in the image of the Lord, being blameless before the Lord, Salakia, being trying to image yourself as the Lord, walk as the Lord, that's gonna take time. To get rid of all the things that you was doing in the world, that's gonna take time. For you to heal from trauma, for you to heal from manipulation and whatever curses the Lord put on you in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, Leviticus the 26th chapter, that's gonna take time to do. And all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, giving us mercy and grace. You'll be able to obtain that. So you have to be patient. The race ain't for the swift. It ain't for the speed, the fat. It ain't for the rabbit, man. Who won that race? The rabbit or the turtle? We all seen it. And that doesn't mean that you be laxy daisy. Oh no, it's cool. I'm good. No. That's not what we saying. Cause now at that point you tempting the Lord. Cause then the Lord gonna sift you out and get a better man that's actually willing to do the work and actually work on himself. just so he can be clean and a virgin in the eyes of the Lord. Right? So it says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, so run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. You gotta master your flesh, man. And I'm gonna say it again. You don't want these athletes to be able to master themselves better than a man of the Lord mastering himself. They let's keep reading, man. And every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things, self-control. Don't have somebody in the NBA, a PG, shooting guard, a center, a wide receiver, quarterback, free safety, D line, in hockey, whatever position they got, baseball, whatever, so on and so forth. Don't let them have more self control than a man that actually knows the truth, man. You actually know how to move. The Lord gave you the blueprint. He gave us the blueprint, man. Right? It says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Because they getting a corruptible crown. We getting an incorruptible. This is something that's everlasting. You can't destroy this. This is a crown that's forever gonna be on your head. See, they get a crown. They win a championship, and guess what? It could be gone. It's not forever. They gotta continuously to fight. But we fighting this marathon. We fighting this marathon. We racing. Once we get to the finish line, and Lord willing, we do. Hey, that's forever, man. We ain't gotta fight no more. We gonna get rest from all our works, man. It ain't gonna be fasting. It ain't gonna be damn. You slipped up. You forgot to read 3 chapters. You shouldn't be forgetting to read 3 chapters. But you get off work, you're tired. You real tired. You trying to read, but you're dozing. You ain't finna be dealing with that. You know. Damn. You was consistent every week. Not going to the site. You been 3 months in, 4 months in, 5 months in. Most are willing for a brother that's dealing with that or sister. You 5 months in, you ain't looking at nothing crazy. You know, and you slip up, you ain't gonna. That's not gonna happen. You ain't gonna be thinking about no. And you ain't gonna be thinking about. Ain't none of that. Once we get to that finish line in the kingdom, man, ain't none of that. We're gonna be immortal. We're gonna be in officially in that new covenant, man. So they crown. They got to keep fighting, right? Another sports. OKC, they won a championship. Guess what? They're gonna have to keep it, and that's gonna be even harder. How we got to keep wisdom. Wisdom is hard to keep, obtain, because so many demons and upwards that's going on in this place. We in the land of darkness. We got to make sure we hold on tight, hold fast that which is good, because it's so easy to go back into the world. Super easy, right? Verse 26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, man. So we got to fight. Not one like beateth the air, like boys in the hood, man. Not like a little kid when his big brother holding his head and he just swinging crying. No, that's not what we doing. We really fighting, man. We really fighting ourselves. If you can't defeat yourself, what makes you think you can go outside of the house and defeat whatever spirit that comes near you? What makes you think you gonna do that? What makes you think you gonna actually defeat a spirit, whatever demon that comes upon you outside, but you can't deal with what's inside of you? That's madness. How can you put a demon in subjection, but you can't put your own demons in subjection? First of all, they bring other demons from the outside and bring them in your temple because they know you ain't doing what you supposed to do. Hey, he still get upset. His rib asked him a question and he get upset. Yeah, we got him, bro. Hey, this man, this the man of the Lord. Hey, look. The angels, they not saying that, but you gonna have to put it in that perspective though. Cause that's how Jake is. He on who for real. Man, this ain't his whip. Nah, that's rent. That's a rent. You got it out.
Hey, when they be like, man, let him shoot.
Yeah. Hey, that's what these angels doing. Not saying that's what they doing, but through the spirit, hey, let them shoot. And they got the damn the foul line. You know what I'm saying? They down at the baseline. Hey, let them shoot, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Let them shoot, bro. You feel that's disrespectful because they know that you're not actually putting the work in. You know, with yourself, even the sisters as well, man. This applies to everybody, even us too, right? It says, "So fight I, not as one that beateth the air, man." So when you're not working on yourself, you so-called say you enduring, you beating the air. You just swinging. But everybody see that spirit, man. You know, it's gonna get shown. You don't want to be one of those sisters or brothers, right? Verse 27. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. And you don't want to be a castaway, man. You know? So, hey, Paul kept his body in subjection. And who knows what he was dealing with, man? Right? He was killing, hey, man, he was persecuting the church, man. He was killing the apostles. And he was zealous to do. He thought he was doing the work of the Lord. You don't know what else he was doing, right? Or what else he was thinking. He was in the flesh too. All our forefathers was in the flesh too, man. Right? But you got
And that's why I love the fact that we bring that point out all the time. Like we is not, you know, this ain't Raphael and Michael the Archangel on the video teaching to be new. Listen, everything we talking about, we done been through it in one way, shape, or form. That's why we can talk about it. You know, when the Lord was going around picking his disciples, he wasn't. Let me get that. I was gonna get something in Matthew. We gonna drop that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. This is one of my favorite all-time uh, uh, parts of the Bible. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1. I'm gonna get this and then I'm gonna get Matthew, and then my last two precepts. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse number 25. Because the foolishness of Yahweh is wiser than man, and the weakness of Yahweh is stronger than man. Verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren. He talking to the brothers in the truth. He wasn't talking to people who in the world they don't know they're Israelite. They never heard the name Yahweh. They don't, they never heard Matthew 15 and 24. They never heard of the curses. He talking about people who know all that already. This 1 Corinthians 1 and 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. I bring this out at camp every now and then. How many of you brothers came from $1 million household and then the Lord brought you in the truth? How many of us came from, we got private boarding schools, you grew up with a butler? How many of us come from that in the truth? Or do you come from the trenches? You come from the worst part of your city. You didn't grow up with your dad. Some of us did. Your dad probably didn't grow up with his. You grew up, hey, ain't no telling what moms was doing. You grew up raising your siblings, going to public school, hearing gunshots every night. That's what a lot of us came from. You grew up stealing, killing, gang banging. And if you wasn't doing it, hey, it was right outside your doorstep. It was nothing but the Lord that you ain't get put on the set. You know, you ain't get your put on because the Lord stopped it. That's the only thing stopped you. See, you wasn't the one selling dime bags, but your cousin them and your big brother and them was. I'm going to read this again. It's 1 Corinthians 1 and 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh. Where's the master degrees at in the truth? You know, brothers, where's the damn the Ben Carson that's out on the street, you know, teaching that we the real Jews? Here it is. You got brothers didn't even finish high school. I was talking to a brother on the phone last month. Brother was telling me, like, yeah, I was thinking about going back to get my GED. This brother, he a mightier teacher than me. I remember when I was talking to this brother, I'm like, man, my study habits, they kind of X, Y, and Z. This is like 2 years ago. He like, hey, you should try this. Brother ain't even got his GED. He out on the street confounding Christians. Pastors grew up in the church 30 years. They daddy was a pastor. Confounding them. This is nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. I don't care if you graduated school with a 0.7 GPA. What do that got to do with the truth? Paul is acknowledging that. People think that, now don't get me wrong, Paul was a very smart brother. We're not denying that. But where is the account of Paul getting his master's degree from Harvard or whatever the equivalent was back then? Where is the account of Paul having rich parents who owned whatever the Walmart was back then, back in the day? He had connections. He could get into he can get into damn Duke University off the love. He ain't paying no tuition. Paul was rude in speech, man. If we heard Paul talk today, a lot of you damn Christians would not be swearing by Paul how y'all do, man. Because he would have been cutting y'all. I promise you. I'm going to read this again. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But Yahweh have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Here it is. You got a world, you got Donald Trumps, you got the Albert Einsteins. Did the Lord pick them to do? Where is the account of Albert Einstein being in the truth, teaching the gospel? You know, where's what's another one of these smart dudes that the world think is just so brilliant? Woman, man, it don't even matter.
Man, SATs. I think that's so brilliant.
You know, damn, you gotta you was valedictorian of your class. Nah, like I said, you got brothers didn't finish high school. You got brothers with speech. Hey, Moses had a speech impediment. Think about that. The Lord picked a man to speak to Pharaoh. He was with his brother. We know that. He was with Aaron. Moses had a speech impediment, man. The Lord didn't care. Hey, go talk to that Pharaoh like I told you. You know? Hey, Yahushua himself, he wasn't rich. Where's the account, like I said, of Yahushua doing the stanky leg in the club, throwing money in the air, making it rain? He didn't even have a place to stay. As a matter of fact, that's going to be my closing precept in the book of Luke. And then you got it. I just want to get this. Because I know a lot of our people deal with that. You might feel like, oh, I'm not worthy. You might not even be dealing with the spirit of not being new. It just, by you trying to be this new person, you like, man, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know if you get down on yourself. Man, am I worthy to do this? Let's see what Zacchaeus did in Luke 19. It's Luke 19, chapter 1. Luke 19, verse 1, and I'm going to read this. And Yahushua entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. Right? This man Zacchaeus was the chief of the publicans, the tax collectors. He had money. He had everything that the world said makes a man a man. But let's see how he moved. And he sought to see Yahushua who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little in stature. Like they say, it say he was little in stature. Like they say in the world now, he was a short king, man. You know, he was it where it say he was 6'5", 260, buff. It said he was a short stature. Let's see if that stopped him. You know, and you probably short of stature in your own way. You might not have all the precepts like the brother Shemawa all got. You know, I might not be able to explain my breakdowns the way that the brother Judah or the brother this or the sister that. You know, I might not be as comely to look upon as this brother or that sister. Hey, we as brothers with speech impediments now, teaching the word. I'm thinking of one brother. I'm not gonna say his name, but he is a leader in Israel. He's not eloquent of speech, but when he talk, brothers listen. Brothers don't dare to interrupt him. I think the brother Small, no, I'm talking. Hey, when that brother talk, I dare you to cut him off. And brothers gonna get on you. Because the truth don't have nothing to do with all that carnal stuff that we care about. Oh, this brother, you know, man, he got a stain on his shoes, man. I ain't listen to that, brother. You think the Lord give a damn? You know, oh, this brother, you know, he got gray hair, man. This old head. Y'all know how Jake is nowadays with the old heads. Let's finish this off, though. Right, let's get back to it. Let's stay focused. Luke 19 and verse 4. He ran before and climbed up into a sycamore to see him, for he was to pass that way. This man wanted to see the Lord so bad that he was like, I don't care if I'm short. I'm going to climb this tree. I'm going to see the Lord. And we got to move like that in the spirit. Listen, I don't care if this brother got 10,000 more precepts than me. I'm going to go hard for the Lord. It is what it is. I'm whatever I got, I'm going to go hard for the Lord. I'm going to show my faith by my works. It's a cut to you Christians, because this man showed his faith by his works. But let's finish this off in verse 5. And when Yahushua came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at thy house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. Now, where did it say he stopped and took pictures with the people, signed a couple of autographs, and then looked up at Zacchaeus? It don't say that. He noticed that one man, which could be you in the spirit, whether you're a man, woman, child, don't matter. Think of yourself as Zacchaeus. What if this was you? The Lord, hey, it's a crowd of people, everybody shouting his name, and he see you. Hey, sister such and such, brother such and such, come talk to me right quick. Can you imagine the Lord saying, hey, Shemo, I got to stay at your crib tonight. I ain't got nowhere to stay. You know, I heard you got a free couch. Let me crash on your couch for the night, man.
Hey, man.
Man, I wouldn't know. I'd be confounded. Like, you want to stay at my crib? You the Lord? You know? I would be confounded, man. Let's finish this off. It says, verse number 6, and he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner. And this is something that might happen to you. I don't know one brother in this truth who ain't been slandered by people outside of the truth. Whether it's your family, it's your ex-girl, your ex-man, people at work. Oh, cousin, I miss my old cousin. Dang, best friend, what happened? You on this Hebrew stuff. Dang, you still standing on that corner reading that Bible? Hey, I had a Jake, man. I used to go to school with him. His little brother. Cool. I mean, we used to kick it every day after school. Right? He hit me in my DM one day. It was something along the lines of, you reading the Bible now? LOL. This is some of the things you're going to have to deal with. Are you holy now? Look at dude. Look at Shema. Dude talking about God. This he holy now. He righteous. Look at dude. Preacher's kid. They gonna crack jokes. It says, and when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. And let's see what the Lord, the King of Kings, said back to him. And Yahushua said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for as much as he also is the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. And that right there gives a perfect example of somebody's works showing their faith. He said, listen, I did anybody wrong. I did this, did and that to pay them back, Lord. While all these people is talking crazy about, while they all talking crazy about you, you might be doing a video like me and Shema. You might have gave your last $20 to that homeless man by the stoplight. And you ain't told nobody, but the Lord saw it. The Lord is not unrighteous to forget your righteous acts, man. You might have been down in the spirit, feeling like you wanted to end it all. The brother called you, hey, man. Hey, this brother Shema Ward and got me through some times, man. I didn't have to make that call. Hey, it's rough. And the brother got to kind of, hey, X, Y, and Z, you do this, and that. Hey, it didn't happen. So you can't ever think, oh, I'm on this new journey. I'm trying to be new. Man, I'm just not good enough. Don't let that I'm not good enough spirit stop you, because it didn't stop Zacchaeus. Salakia for being long-winded, but you got it. That's my last precept.
Man, that's somebody precept, man. Got one precept too. Hey, just like the brother was saying, don't let nothing stop you. Ultimately, that's having faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that you continuously, purge yourself and take away old habits, and grow in certain areas. You have to have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You gotta have confidence in yourself as well. This is Matthew chapter 21, right? Verse 21. Yahushua answered, right? And said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not. So you can't doubt not, man. As you taking on this new life, matter you've been in a year or two, and there's another obstacle that you partaking in, and you seeing other things about you that you need to change. Hey, all praise to the Most High. The Lord is letting you know, because you asked Him to examine yourself and see what it is. Get rid of and better yourself so you can hit new levels. Right? It says, if you have faith and doubt not, because you can't doubt. You fall. You may have a bad week, you may have a bad 2 weeks. You may have a bad month. But that doesn't mean that you doubt, because the Lord is watching you. The Lord is still there, right? It says, ye shall not only do this, which is done to the fig tree, but also, if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. So you have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and that small percentage you have confidence in yourself, you'll be able to move mountains. You'll be able to keep integrity, stay consistent, staying diligent, man. Right? So, hey, verse 22, it says, in all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, and ye shall receive. So you praying, you're fasting, you're putting forth the actions. After all those things, having confidence, you'll be able to move mountains. Being that new man and new creature is going to take work. Working and do as a man and woman, as an Israelite man and woman in His truth, to be able to present ourselves as a worthy sacrifice, a righteous sacrifice, a pure sacrifice to the Lord, right? But hey, that's all I got. Most High willing, this was ever edifying, man. Right? All praise to the Most High.
Come, man. Hey, with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua for another mighty Wednesday live. Hey, run this video back if you got to, man. This is all hell breaking loose right now. This is the time to be gathering up, soaking up as much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you can. You know, with that, Shalom and Kwam Yashua.
But wow.